Hey, hey, good morning. So, the topic of the news lately has been so overwhelming. Everybody's talking about the coronavirus, everybody's talking about social distancing, and that's all you hear anymore. So, just one more time, let me get with you about that. So, currently, oh, and if you see me looking up here, I'm getting stats from the CNN news update. You see me looking over here, I'm taking a look at my notes. So, as of today, it's 11:36 a.m. right now, and there are 647,000 total cases in globally, everywhere in the entire world of the coronavirus. Um, there are a total of 17,241 deaths from the virus. In the United States, there are 43,925 cases right now and 547 deaths. So every day some of us have watched those numbers change and escalate and escalate and excuse me, they just keep going up and they just keep it's just like an overwhelming situation. Always hearing about it. The news is talking about it. Facebook's talking about it. Everybody in the streets is talking about it. But it is something new to the country, different than what we've seen before. And yes, it is different than the flu. It actually has, from what I understand, um, it seems to me like it's an illness that goes in stages. From what I've read several times and watched on videos from doctors and all that, it starts out as feeling like something has to do with sinuses. And then eventually you either get a headache, a spiked fever, it goes into your throat, and that's where the trouble begins, from what I understand. From the throat, it can eventually, for those people that are going to have a bad case of it, it can end up doing some serious stuff to the lungs. And so, however, social distancing, it may be an inconvenience, but it's all we have for right now that could possibly save lives. We are actually at a great disadvantage right now because the disease can spread through air droplets. But we do have an option or several options of ways to support our own well being and the well being of our loved ones. I know you've seen the commercials and heard it time and again, but it's simple stuff. Um, Wash our hands, stay inside unless it's truly necessary that we go out. Avoid walking in the path where we just saw somebody cough or sneeze. Clean with Clorox wipes and bleach. Spray off door handles and etc. with Lysol. It's the small things we can do now that we should have always made daily habits anyway. But now we're seeing where we failed in those areas because we haven't always done that stuff. Um, Thankfully, it's not too late to take heed and start forming those good habits now that it is necessary. Also, we do need to be considerate of others. If you don't care about your own life or your own self, whichever you call it, at least be courteous of others. Cover your own cough and sneeze. Um, Stop going up and hugging and high fiving people because these days somebody might not have the nerve to speak up and say, I don't want you to touch me, but they're cringing every time they see you coming because you're a hugger and a high fiver, and now is not the time. So, to me, I think we all need to treat each other um, like we're all possible carriers of it, or that we all have it and don't know we have it yet. From what I understand from the news yesterday, they said that we could get sick from it today and not even know we're sick from it until next week sometime. And so it's life changing and it can be an inconvenience. But if it's a matter of saving life, or it's not a death sentence for everybody, but who wants to even go through the struggles we've seen those people going through, even if it does mean that at the end of it, you're going to come out on top and come out okay? Um, I don't even want to have to fight it. I pray that I don't get it, and I'm doing everything that I can to keep me and my loved ones safe. but some people can do that and still just get it. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I heard a case where a lady had not gone outside in a very long time. She was an older lady, and she ended up with it, didn't travel anywhere. So to me, that just says somebody brought it to her in her house, obviously. I don't think she just caught it from just being at home and the wind blew or the air in the house blew or something like that. However, they do say it's airborne, but somebody has to be there with the germ or whatever, to create the droplet or the bacteria to be in the air for it to be airborne. So, but anyway, so if you see me and I'm not hugging and I'm just head nodding or uh, smiling or whatever, I am not trying to be funny. I'm trying to be safe. I want me and you to be safe. And so it's a good time for everybody to get those normal hygiene practices in place. And that'll be something we can just continue on with after this, since we should have been doing it better anyway. There is no cure, there is no vaccine, so this inconvenient social distancing is our medicine for now. It's the only way we can stop the spread of this killer that many people still think is a joke. And some people's even saying it's a setup and the government's setting it up and all these different things. Well, to me, if it is any kind of a setup, I don't know if you're a believer or not, but maybe it's a God setup. Maybe it's his way of trying to get our attention, to get us to turn away from our evil and wicked ways and turn back to him. He might be just giving us one last shot to get it right, because this has definitely gotten everybody's attention. Whether you believe it's real and true or not, it still has your attention because you're able to tell somebody that you do or don't believe in it or whatever the case is. And so I just feel like that God has already tried to save us, and this is our chance to save ourselves. So um, everybody's going on and on about, at first they were saying young people couldn't get it, or if they did get it, it would be a mild case of it. But now we're seeing differently that young people are getting it and it's affecting them in a bad way. They're coming. Some of them are dying now, in just a low number of it, but it has happened, and they're saying that young people are not taking it serious. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's sometimes it's hard to reach the youngsters, but they want to hang out and be in the world and do these things, and I really don't know what we can do to get their attention other than just continue to let them know how serious it is. Um, Even if they do get it, they might have wonderful immune systems and be very healthy, but this thing does not discriminate. So I've seen cases on the news and so forth where it takes over the healthiest body and becomes a killer. So it's not something you want to play with, even though it may be, like I keep saying, an inconvenience to your lifestyle, your daily habits, getting out, hanging out, having fun, doing this and doing that. So to me, if people are shutting things down and saying stay inside and all these different things, I'm going to take some heed to it rather than taking no heed to it. It was over a week ago when I told my son and my fiance, as we sit and watch that number go up of how quickly the cases of it spreading were and all that, I said there is no way this thing is not airborne. And the next thing you know, they say it is airborne. So but anyway, don't want to take too much of your time. I don't want to go on and on about something you're hearing about time and again. But I just wanted to encourage you to at least do your part, if not for yourself, then for others. Um, you know, it's hard to just stay in. I stayed in the house so much lately that the other day I just had to get out and I got in the car and we went and just rode around town and we did go visit my cousin and her husband, but we sat outside on the porch. We sat away from each other and just talked and hung out and stuff. Um, and so that was probably not necessary, but I did it anyway. And then I was a nervous wreck afterwards and all that. So, but anyway, it's hard to do. But if it means saving your life or your mother's life or your child's life or your grandparents' life or your friend or anything, I mean, it would just really be something to say that you're the one that had it and you're the one that didn't take it serious and you're the one that spread it and then you lose a loved one. And so it could happen to anybody, I guess, though. But just want to encourage you to do your part. I don't know how long we'll be in this situation to where we have to be so careful, but at the end of the day, there are certain things about it that are creating better practices for us anyway. And so, it's not bad when you think about it that way. So, anyway, everybody stay safe. Have a wonderful day. And just do what you can to look out for you and yours. And remember, if I see you and I just give you a wave or a head nod or a smile, Melanie's not being funny. Melanie's not being sometimey. Melanie's not being shady. Melanie is looking out for you and for me. So you have a good day. Thanks, guys.